Welcome back to another Sunday School Bible class. This week's lesson is entitled The Fifth and Sixth Days of Creation. We have already learned how God created light on the first day and the sky on the second day, and then how He separated the land from the ocean or the waters, and how He created all plant life on the third day, and then how He made the sun, the moon, the stars, and the planets on the fourth day of creation. In today's lesson, we're going to learn about the animals He created on the fifth and sixth day of creation. In Genesis chapter 1 verse 20 to 25 we read, "And God said, Let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the sky. And the waters brought forth abundantly creatures after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And God blessed them, saying, Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters and the seas, and let the fowl multiply in the earth. And the evening and the morning were the fifth day." We're going to slow down here as we learn not only what creatures God created on the sixth day, but a little bit about all His creatures He created and what our responsibility is regarding these creatures. When the Bible describes what God created on the sixth day, it says, "And God said, Let the earth bring forth a living creature after his kind, cattle and creeping thing, and beast of the earth after his kind, and it was so. And God made the beast of the earth after his kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And God saw that it was good." All animal life is grouped by different characteristics. For example, animals that fly, animals that walk, animals that swim, animals that crawl. Within each group, there are different types. For example, there are so many different kind of feathered animals, different fowl, and different birds, and many are so beautiful, so many different colors and so many different types. Then there are so many different types of sea creatures, different sizes. There are so many different types of creatures that live in the water, and then within each type, there are so many different ones of each type that they cannot be counted. Yet God knows the number of every type and how many of each type live in the water. God made plenty of fish for us to eat because fish are healthy for us. Many people go out on the water in boats and use nets to try and catch these creatures, and these people are called fishermen. It is their job to catch these fish so we can eat them. Now let's take a look at what other creatures God created on the sixth day. On the sixth day, God let the earth bring forth creatures that live on land, like the feathered and sea creatures as well as the insects. God made a great variety of land animals. There are so many different types of land animals, and each one fulfills a different task that helps keep a balance with all other life forms on this planet. In other words, all of these different animals help us in some small way. Without all these different animals, we would not be able to live here. When God made the animals, they were all friendly. Today, there are wild animals which are dangerous and they must be avoided. People must stay out of their way. Animals like lions, tigers, bears, wolves, crocodiles, and many others must be left alone, no matter how cute or pretty they might look. They cannot be trusted as pets or thought of as friendly. Yet, Even though these animals are wild and dangerous, they are to be respected because they not only belong to God, but they have a reason for existing on this planet. God gave the wild animals a job to do on this planet. They actually help keep all the other animals in line for us. Therefore, we must not kill all the wild animals. Then there are the domesticated animals. These types of animals are tame, and they often live with us, not out in the forests or jungles. Domesticated animals still cannot think, understand, and reason like we can, but they can be trained by people to help us in some special way. The most common type of domesticated animal is a dog or cat. Dogs live in our homes to protect us and to take care of us, and sometimes they are like a member of our family. Some dogs are friendly to everybody, and some dogs are not friendly. So, it is not a good idea to walk up to a dog that you don't know and try to pet them and be his friend. You should always ask the dog's owner before trying to pet or go near any dog. Many dogs will love you and try to kiss you by licking you, but always ask the owner first. And if it is your first time with that dog, try to move slowly. Sometimes quick movements or excitement can scare dogs and they react wildly, so you don't want to move really quick. Dogs can be used to help people in many ways. Dogs have a very, very good sense of smell. They can be trained to find people who are lost. Dogs have saved many, many lives. Dogs also help blind people by guiding them as they walk. They comfort lonely people. They have been a great help to shepherds who take care of sheep. Dogs also serve to stop thieves from breaking in your home. As mentioned already, they also protect their master if anyone tries to hurt them. Dogs that are members of our family love us, no matter what we look like or what we do. So dogs make great pets, but they do need a lot of care and a lot of space and a lot of time. People who have dogs for pets that don't have enough space or don't have enough time for the dog are hurting the dog as well as themselves. Cats are another type of domesticated animal that can make also great pets. Now, dogs and cats can do some funny things. And dogs and cats sometimes get along very well together, but many times dogs and cats do not get along. They fight. Another group of domesticated animals are the farm animals, and one of these most important animals is the horse. The horse, although he's a very strong animal, he can be tamed and trained to do many things for people. Before there were cars, people used to ride horses. In fact, horses could travel where cars cannot go sometimes. Horses can travel right through some rivers and streams. And then they took carriages and hooked the carriages up to the horses so they can transport more people. So instead of buses back then, they had carriages to transport people. Horses can also be made to carry lots of material, and they can also be made to do lots of work on farms and the such like. The big giant elephant can also be domesticated. He is not wild like the lions, tigers, and bears, and dangerous and ferocious. He can be trained to work, and he can be ridden just like a mule, a donkey, or a horse. And in certain parts of the world, that's what they use, the elephant. Oxen are also domesticated animals in that even though they're big and strong, they can be trained and they can be used by people to do work, especially on farms. They can plow the fields, and in Bible times, those people used the oxen a lot to plant their crops on the farms. Donkeys, which are much smaller and cheaper than horses, can nevertheless carry some loads and be used to ride on just like a horse. Camels are also animals that can be domesticated and trained by people to carry them and to lift and carry burdens, but camels can do something that all the other animals cannot do. A camel is the only one that can withstand the heat and dryness of the desert. They can go for a long time in the heat without water, and they can continue to walk when no other animal can stand those kind of conditions. So to walk across the desert, people have used camels, and camels were even able to withstand those terrible dust storms that no other animal can stand. Cows are very important animals. They give us our milk and our meat, like beef. And then there's pigs that are domesticated on our farms, and we get our pork chops from pigs. And then there's the all-important lambs and sheep. And these animals that are domesticated are very important, and were very important to the people of the Bible, because look at that fur. You see that? That's wool. And the people that take care of sheep, they shave off that wool, and you see it there on the floor. And then they take piles of that wool, and they wash that wool and make it nice and clean. And then they take the wool to a special place, and they make yarn from the wool, and then they make clothes for us. And that's why sheep are so important to the people of the Bible. Then on our farms, we have the domesticated animals like hens and chickens, which give us our eggs. So remember, there are the wild animals that we must not try to be friends with. Leave them alone. They are very dangerous. They're ferocious. And then there are the domesticated, friendly animals that we have around our homes, and we need to be careful how to handle them. But then we have these other animals that help us and that have helped us throughout history. And without these domesticated animals like horses and elephants and camels and cows and all these other animals here, man would have never been able to survive. We could not get along without all of these animals. So thank God that He created and put all the animals here for us. We must remember that all creatures belong to God. We do not please God when we make His creatures sick with our garbage. So it is our job to keep God's world clean, take care of His animals, and try to live the way God wants us to live. We must respect all the things that God made for us. In our next lesson, we're going to learn about God's greatest creation of all. And guess what that was? Man, us. When God created us, it was His greatest creation. So you don't want to miss that next lesson. See ya next time. Bye-bye.